I just went to a Taco Bell and I was greeted with an AI voice, and it took my order. And I have a very specific Taco Bell order. I have I'm not even joking right now, and it's been like this for like 15 plus years. I go there and I get 3 bean burritos, just the beans, no cheese, no sauce, no onions, and then I drown it in hot sauce. I'm the weirdest freak I know. I'm a freak, and the AI voice got it 100% correctly. And I drove up to the window, and she gave, there was obviously a human being behind the window, but she did not have to take my order. I'm sure she's there if the AI voice is not, going to function correctly, but it worked out perfectly, and I got my meal, and that was it. And I'm sitting there eating my bean burritos, drowning it in Taco Bell fire sauce and Diablo sauce, thinking how cooked we really are. I had read articles that Taco Bell was doing this. I had read articles that Taco Bell already was beginning to use AI in these ways, and it was weird to actually experience it for myself. And it was also weird because not even that long ago, 2 weeks ago, Taco Bell had admitted that maybe they had gone a little bit too far with it. Maybe they had implemented it too early or something. And I saw all these people being snarky about it, looking down ha, stupid Taco Bell. Yeah, you're an idiot. Why would you ever try this? And I thought that was a weird take from the article. It was a weird take to look down at Taco Bell. Because, I get it. You don't want people to lose jobs. You don't want jobs to go away. But I don't know why they chose to use that argument, because it's it is only a matter of time before Taco Bell gets it down, or AI does get it down. It might not even be a couple of months at this rate. There could be literally a couple of months where the AI will be good enough. As far as my situation was today, it was good enough. But it won't be that long into the future where the AI is good enough, and it is going to take all of these jobs from the drive-thru workers. We are cooked, especially combine that with another article I saw earlier this week that said McDonald's is getting more applications than it ever has, or that it ever had, at least as of the last couple of years. My goodness, we are cooked. This is such an interesting conversation too, because I now can do things without as big of a team as I used to have back 3 years ago, because I have AI, and because I can edit faster with AI, and I can do things to manage my YouTube channel with AI faster. I used to require at least 2 to 3 people on my team. At most, I had 3 people around me, built around me and all my YouTube channels. Now I got 1, and it's all because I can just do so much now with AI. I can be so much more productive, which is what everyone's saying. And again, this is anecdotal. I'm just some random YouTube nobody, to be quite honest with you. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, I've got no reason to hire more people. Whereas 2-3 years ago, I could have, but I was at 3, and now I'm at 1. I was at 3, and I was thinking about doing a 4th. But now I just have 1. And I don't even need, and that's the thing is that 1 is dang, that's all I need. And do I even need that? I don't even know. Probably. But it's just that this is probably a conversation that's being had with all sorts of, not even just creators, but small businesses all around. If you're a really tiny micro business like I am, I don't even know if you can consider me a micro business. I guess I'm a micro business because I'm just one dude, and sometimes 2 dudes. This is probably happening everywhere. And what's scary is I feel like it's a COVID thing. This is a random comparison, but you know how we found out that COVID was here in the US way before, and it might have been completely just riddled in the population before we even really caught the first dose, the first factually person committed with COVID. I remember when that was. It was we were in Boston in 2020, and they found the first person that was actually factually identified that had COVID. But in truth, at that time, if we just found one person, God knows how many actual Americans had COVID. 10x that? 10x, 20x, 25. That was the first one that was identified, but it might have been riddled. And basically, I'm using this example because I'm like, that might be happening to the economy right now. I kind of think it is. I kind of think that like the news and people, and I said this earlier in another video on Drew IRL earlier this week, but I think that it's already deeply affecting so many aspects of our economies all around the world, not just the U.S., but all sorts of economies all around the world, and we don't even know exactly what extent it is. Like maybe the big companies, we can watch them, but the smaller markets, the gig market, I mean, I guess I consider myself a part of the gig market. Like that's where things are really going to change and where things are changing all around. I mean, look at how long school has been affected. I know that like school, university, high school, middle school has already been deeply corrupted by AI for years now, for like 2 or 3 years now. And it's like, well, how long? And I get that kids are going to be a little bit faster into adopting technology than adults, but I still don't think people are truly understanding how deeply rooted AI is into everyone's life and how it is already deeply affecting all of the economies. So it only goes into a topic that I talked about here in Drew IRL a couple of weeks ago about how I was not buying the whole AI bubble thing. Like, no, AI's here. Now, the economy might crash, but it's not because AI is not going to be, in my opinion, everything we think it's going to be. We just might have the timing wrong. I think it's definitely possible that humans are maybe anticipating all of this stuff is going to happen tomorrow. Investors are anticipating that AGI is going to be here tomorrow and the world's going to explode tomorrow. I think the world's going to explode. We just don't know when it's going to be. It might be a couple of years off. It might be next year. Maybe investors are thinking it's going to happen right now. But all that doesn't really matter because it is going to happen. We are going to lose a ton of jobs. A ton of jobs. Bro, I just got into what's terrifying too is it's not what everyone thought. It's not just like, I don't know, jobs that nobody wants. Like, for example, the Taco Bell drive-thru job. It's not jobs that everyone wants. AI is taking art. AI is taking art from people. There was a song that went viral on TikTok called I Justine that got revealed to be an AI song. It's a crazy song about the creator I Justine, and it popped up in my algorithm because I'm old and I remember I Justine. And I Justine, that creator's been around for a really long time. And there was a crazy song that dropped about her. And I thought it was a really funny song. And I could kind of tell it was AI. But I guess it was revealed that song was AI. And that's happening all around. This is just one anecdotal example. But this is happening everywhere with all these songs. Aren't AI songs make it into like the Billboard charts nowadays or something like that? Bro, AI is taking music. And people don't care. Here's the thing, like, I get it. If you're coming from the music industry, you're going to be like, and I get that there's like, the most vocal people are going to be like the pro music people, the people that are like support real artists. They're either artists themselves or they just truly connect with the industry. But I really think the globe, the vast majority of people are not going to give a frick. They are not going to care. If something sounds good, something sounds good. I really think that's going to be the case. There will be some pushback. But I think there's going to be at least about 50% of, normal everyday listeners of music that are not going to care if the artist is AI or not, especially if you hide it from them. But even if the art is AI, they're just not going to care. They're just going to be like, you know what, I like this song. I'm going to like it. I'm going to continue to play it. And that's one example. There's plenty of other examples of AI, bro. I was just talking about how AI is beginning to take creator positions. I mean, just the real estate alone that's being taken up with AI videos on a TikTok algorithm. Like, you have to think like that didn't exist 2 or 3 years ago. When I'm scrolling through my algorithm on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, even if just 1 out of 10 scrolls is an AI video, that's still, if you think about it, that's still real estate that would have been taken up 2 years ago by a real life creator that is now taken up by an AI. And right now, it's 1 out of 10. But what does it become in the future? When is it 2 out of 10? When Google's, what's it called? VO3 becomes VO4 or whatever. I was looking into this a little bit the video features of AI that Google's launching. Gemini is their like chatbot, right? But right now it might be like 10% of my videos of the algorithm are AI, but in like a year from now, like literally just 1 year from now, it could be 25%, even 20%. Those are huge numbers. If 20% of my algorithm now becomes AI, then even creators are screwed. Even creators are going to be cooked. That's the crazy thing, is it's just like all things that are being hit. And it's like, man, those blue-collar workers, another one up for those blue-collar workers, man. Maybe we should have just all became blue-collar workers. I mean, I tell my little brother to just maybe think about it, because that seems to be one of the safest spots. I mean, I know you could talk about robotics. You could say, oh, yeah, robotics, but it feels like AI is going to be here a lot quicker than robotics are going to be. Like, I don't know how, like, for example, like a robot having to crawl through like a tiny crawl space to like put some roach exterminator in the corner of random houses, and like crawling through an AC or an electrician or a plumber, or like, all these like hard-working blue-collar jobs. Like, robots have a while. It feels like robot technology still has a while, because think about it. They've been creating robots. I remember watching like my first ever Boston Dynamics videos back in like 2008, and seeing like, whatever freaking robots dance and do backflips and things like that. That technology has evolved so slowly. Like, the thing about robotics is, okay, we're going to put AI inside of the robot's head, and maybe that's going to help, but overall the functionality of it, that's still going to take time. I feel like that's not been the exponential growth we have seen out of AI. I think that humans can like probably figure this out, because technology has always changed. I think a lot of people are making this reference that like, okay, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, you had buildings filled with people, like, obviously like telephone operators, or like banks used to be just people doing calculations, or basically every job before there were computers were just done by like a lot of human beings. And now all that stuff has vanished, and we do have robotics that did take up certain lines of work. Obviously in the, the car manufacturing industry is a big one. But so humans can adapt. The issue is that humans are adapting, or AI is going to be here so fast, it's looking like, that I don't know if humans are going to be able to adapt. I don't know if the job market is going to be able to adapt fast enough, which, with all this said, it's like, man, maybe our Federal Reserve here in the U.S. didn't cut rates fast enough. Maybe they should have started cutting rates actually earlier. That's what's really looking like, because the job market is getting hit hard. The job market has been getting hit hard, it sounds like, for like 2 years now. But as AI increases and takes more and more jobs, there was that report that said like Amazon just laid off like tens of thousands of workers, or 10,000 workers. It was Amazon and a couple other tech companies, and that's like unheard of before Christmas. Like, really, before Christmas, Amazon, this is your biggest time of the year, and you just let people go? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Fed should have cut rates earlier, because they say, when the Fed cuts rates, it opens up more job opportunities. Because I think they might not have stick the landing. I mean, I know they were going by the numbers, but the numbers that I'm putting out here, you can't really identify these numbers. No one would have known if I didn't come out here and say on video, hey, I employed 3 contractors 2 or 3 years ago. Now I have 1, and I have no reason to update that and go more than that. I mean, there's literally no data behind that information. I mean, I guess when we have to report taxes, but that's only once a year. Like that takes so long. That's going to take like a whole 11 months before that data actually comes through. I would have already moved on by then. So we might be cooked. Anyways, point is, we honestly might be cooked. It all depends on how fast this happens. It's kind of funny. You have to kind of like force the big corporations to drag their feet as long as possible, because when the big corporations start to use AI more and more, then we're cooked. Because the small guys, like myself, you can be a lot more nimble on your feet. You can just wake up tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm going to just adopt an all AI strategy. I'm just going to let go of the entire team and go boom, entirely into AI. Like people like that can do that. But the big corporations, you got to worry. You got to watch them, because if they go too fast, we're all cooked. And we could be looking at like the black market, the Great Depression, Black Tuesday is what I'm trying to say, where, that's high rates. The U.S. had high rates of unemployment. What was it, like 20%? something close to 20-25%? Maybe. I mean, that's not, that's even like 75% of people keeping their job, can they? Maybe. I mean, look at all aspects. I'm now seeing Waymos driving on the freeway now here in LA. Waymos are now driving on the freeway. Waymos are our autonomous vehicles. I've taken Waymos. I like Waymos. And one of the reasons why I like Waymos, I'm not going to lie to you, is because I don't got to tip Waymo. That's saving me money a little bit. Waymos tend to be a little bit more expensive, but when I can find a Waymo that's cheaper than an Uber, of course I'm going to take the Waymo because I don't got to tip the Waymo. I don't feel bad. Like, I feel obligated to tip an Uber driver because I should. I just feel like I want to tip them. But if the Waymo is cheaper than the Uber itself and I don't got to tip, well, that's easy. And in today's economy, you got to save money. So anyways, random rant, but we're cooked.